the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, please be seated. By saying to Nathanael, I saw you under the fig tree, Jesus revealed to him who he was. How could Nathanael know that this was Jesus, that he would acclaim, you are Jesus, you are the Son of God? How could he possibly, by hearing that, make that kind of statement? Because Nathanael was at the bottom of his life, crying his eyes out to God, God, how could you let this happen to me? He had some disaster happen to him in his life. He was completely discredited. He lost his job, he lost his income, he lost his reputation, and everything that was about his manhood. And he's being taught, as most of those boys were in the scriptures. He knew to recite these psalms from his heart, from memory. And he cried out to God, have you forgotten me? So when Jesus said to him, I saw you under the fig tree, there's no guile in this one. It means he's honest. He's able to talk to God from his heart and tell him, ask him, what is going on? I do not understand. I keep your laws, I keep your ways, I keep your commandments. I do good and kind things to other people, and yet this befalls me. How can this, in fact, happen to me? How? How? I don't understand. I'm doing good. Why am I being punished? We've all said these things. If you read the Psalms a little further, you will say, I hear you in all things. I see you in all things. I know you in all things. Before you were even born in your mother's womb, I knew you. So when Jesus says to him, I saw you under the fig tree, that was the answer from God. He said to him, follow me. With the revelation comes the call. If you're seeking an answer, you're seeking what? And you get the answer, that's a revelation that comes from God. And with the revelation, so you get it, comes the call. Follow me. I can tell you, only from my own experience, but of the testimonies of others also, that when they answer this call, it is not like angels and choirs of heaven come singing. It is not like some mystical ceremony of heaven opening up and having this big welcoming ceremony. Thank God you're here. We've been waiting for you, O Holy One. It doesn't happen like that. That might come later. I'm still waiting. But what does come is a sense of purpose and inner peace. That at last I know for sure that I'm following the right path. That if I stay on this path and persevere on this path, come what may, that I will arrive at the proper destination that is designed for my soul. Interactions along the journey will be had, and I will learn from those things and grow to love Him even more, so that the initial revelation, greater things than these shall you see, You shall see angels and archangels descending and ascending upon the Son of Man. Great things will you see and behold with your own eyes. Maybe not your natural eyes, but your spiritual eyes. The eyes of your soul will know the truth when you hear it. It doesn't have to come from a book. It doesn't have to come from a preacher. It doesn't have to come from, it could come from a crying baby, a singing bird. It could come from anything. God can reveal himself to you and does through all things if you're open to it. But usually when you are busted, broken, down and out, we really have nothing, no other option. Oh God. Then you know. Because it is God who saves. Not doctrine, not dogma, not rule keeping. Those don't save. Those can maintain a certain sense of proper order in our life and in our society, so that you say, man, how these people are just diving off the deep end and don't know what they're getting into. Washed away with the rest. And you know the truth about you. If the truth about you is that you are a filthy, ragged sinner, join the club. But know that we have an advocate, one who will absorb that sin and tell you it's already been forgiven, bought, and paid for at immense cost of his precious blood. All it requires of you is your faith and belief in it, and then don't do those things anymore. Do something in his cause. Devote your life to a noble thing. How often have you been called to something noble in your life? Well, every father that has a child knows that. The nobility, I'm going to raise this child to be a wonderful human being, to have every opportunity. I'm going to empty myself into this life so that that life can prosper and carry on. How soon we forget. He gets caught up with world stuff. Like, well, where's the diapers? Where's the wet naps? Where's the baby formula? Where are the things that I need in order to sustain this? Well, I don't have no job. I don't have no income. I don't have no means of support. Really? Is that the truth of you? Are you busted down that low that you have no means of providing for this life? Then I say to you, oh God, I have made a commitment to this little life. And I need you, oh God, to empower me so that I can fulfill my commitment to this little life. And this little life can have a chance to grow up prosperous and not know hunger and not know the ravages of this world. But I need your help, oh God. Please empower me, enable me to see to these things which I have devoted myself to do in your holy name. And then watch and see what happens. Wait for the miracle. Allow it to happen within your life. It may not be what you demand. It may be what he expects, and is opening up for you. Oh, do something else. I may have to wait tables, wash dishes, I may have to lay bricks, I may have to dig holes. I don't know what I have to do, but I'm going to do it. If the opportunity opens it up, I'm going to walk through the door. And I'm going to do these noble things in the name of my Lord. And then wait for the further blessings that come from those associations with people who respect your nobility. Nobility of purpose carries on an honesty of spirit. People can tell if you're honest or not, if you're trying to get over on them. You can tell. The honesty of your spirit is something that is projected from you. It's a revelation to them if they're listening. If you're wallowing in the mud with the other pigs, you may not, your perceptions might be clouded over. But if you get up out of that and realize that I want, because of my desire to be of benefit to this person or that person, or someone cries out, I'm hungry, that's a trigger for me. You know about triggers. A trigger for me is someone says, I'm starving, I don't have any food. I don't want to hear that. It's one of those things that trigger me into some sort of action. And what's the first action? Oh God. Automatically. Someone says, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I haven't had anything to eat. My first reaction is, oh God, let me love you in this manner. Because loving is a manner of being. Loving God is first, always, and everything. But the form in which that love for God takes is in service to His people, for me. So when someone says to you, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I haven't had anything to eat, the first answer is, oh God. The connection between you and God is a result of the revelation of God to you. So that you can empower yourself through your faith in Him, which empowers you to do the works of righteousness, not just for you, but for others. And others will feel that energy. Others will be carried along in that river of grace that you are. And they will join with you and imitate you, and they themselves will do the things that you do. Out of respect for you, admiration. All of a sudden you become a respected and admired person because you're doing the will of God, devoting yourself to the noble thing, not the selfish thing. Oh God, look at me, I'm so sick, I'm so tired, I'm so hungry, I'm so distraught, I'm so worried, I'm so everything. Me, me, me. Even if you're responsible for other little lives that you've brought into the world. The inverse is also correct. If others have brought you into the world and nurtured you along the way, and now they are in need, then you're the one who is strong, they're the ones who are weak. Oh God, empower me to come to their assistance. Oh God, empower me to be a source of strength in their lives when they're afraid of the end that's drawing near. Let me be the pillar of strength and faith for their sake. You often hear about parents who do things for the children's sake. They'll stay together in a terrible marriage for the sake of the children. And you'll hear about parents who have now in their elderly, aged years who are in need of some assistance. Well, that's what we pay taxes for. The divine purpose of our life is to be of nobility of purpose. God's will. Honor your father and your mother. And when they're no longer with us, we still honor them by the nobility of our life. You see how the calling of God works? First comes the revelation so that you can believe. Then comes the call. You might be called to be a parent. You might be called to be a gardener who brings beautiful things into someone's life at just the right moment. Beautiful things. You might be a storyteller who can weave a whole segment of things people didn't know into a message from God for them. You might be someone who just makes sure that the road is safe to drive on. A calling is of divine nature if it is of benefit to other people and done in His holy name. You can devote yourself to this. This is the answer to your call. The choirs of angels might come later. Listen, you hear me? No, that's 5G, sorry. So, this is not a call you will hear with your ears. We're not schizophrenic. It's a call you will know in your soul. Oh God, show me your ways. Teach me your statutes. Show me the way I should walk. This is the answer to the call. Everybody who is called by God is filled with apprehension. Well, what do I do now? Okay, you got me. You got my attention. I believe in you. Now what do you want of me? Tell me. Show me. Teach me. Let me know what I'm talking about. To which he says, fret not. Don't worry what you're going to say. I'll give you the words. Don't know what you're going to do. I'll show you when it's time. Just have the faith and the intention to do His will. Not my will, but thy will be done. If you can have the intention of faith is a power given to you. It is your humanity expressing itself in light of God. And this humanity expression is what brings about the salvation of the human race. Because other people say, how come you changed? How come you're different now? I knew you. Who are you trying to kid? I knew you from back on the corner. Now you're all this. To which the answer is, I was all that, but I'm no longer that. Something happened to me, and I'm transformed. I'm no longer as I was, and I can't see you as you were. I only see you as God created. I'm compelled by my faith in God to treat you with righteousness. You may not like me, you may hate me, you may not believe in what I stand for, but I'm still obligated to do the right honorable thing by you. And I will. That's what you or to say. And I do it in the sight of God, for God, in His nobility that is my life. I, without Him, can do nothing. This is our prayer. This is our individual, personal prayer. I, without you, can do nothing. But with you, I can do all things.